Hiya folks, Gord Pyzer here with Outdoor Canada magazine, and I'm at the 2013 EFFTEX show here in Vienna, Austria, and I got a special guest with me today, and believe it or not, his last name is Marlin. How fishy is that? This is Tanguay Marlin, and Tanguay is with a company called CERT. And Tanguay actually worked on a product, developed a product that I'm telling you right now is very, very unique, and especially for the Canadian market, and I'll tell you why. So often the baits in Canada, because of the influence of the U.S. to the south of us, so many of our baits are shad-oriented, so they're very narrow and squat. But what Tanguay has worked on here, believe it or not, is a lure, and I always wonder how lures get their names, and this one is called L16, and that stands for Louis XVI, who got his head chopped off in the French Revolution. And Tanguay, you tell us about how you developed this lure and why it's called the L16.
All right, thank you, Gordon, to give me this opportunity to show you and to promote this product. So actually we were thinking to make this lure as a shad for the first step. So this is what we do, and but it was not really. We need to make something more adaptable for saltwater fishing in France.
Yes.
Because saltwater fish, as sea bass that we have, is eating a fish that we call lançon, is sandeel. In fact, it's very close to sandeel that you have in US, in Canada. So we make it very narrow, very thin, and this have a pretty good action. You know, the tail is very soft, very thin. It have a unique special section, so it make it very, you know, when you use it with jig head or also with a soft with a non-weighted hook,
Yes.
like a Texas hook or something like this. It has a great action with nice vibration. So it can be very, very effective on saltwater fish, but also in freshwater fish like smallmouth bass, and also yellow perch, that we have similar fish in France that perch. So.
Yes, and you know, Tanguay, we have a fish in Canada, and it's such a prominent fish, forage fish, and it's called a smelt. And for all the Canadian anglers who look at this, they're going to say, wow, that's one of the best smelt representations they have seen. And again, it's not a narrow, compact bait. It's nice and long and lean. And we have a tough time, actually, getting baits that look like this. But here's the big question. Why is it called L16?
I think it's an idea that we have, and we work for several months to try to get the good results. If you have a look to the head, you have a kind of small cut all around. So if you want to use it, as I told you, with just a non-weighted hooks, no problem. You can make it for drop shot, for weightless, and no problem. But then, if you want to use it on jig head, we have a jig head that have the perfect shape of the head, and if you pull it slowly like this cut make the exact shape of the jig head. So then you don't have to, you know, to cut with a knife or anything. You just have to pull, and it directly cut the head of
That's right.
So we call it L16, as it's all, because during the French Revolution, Louis XVI have been guillotined and head cut like this.
So instead of the anglers having to worry about how to absolutely or precisely cut it, you actually have engraved around it and kind of cut into it right around the gill area, and it's now the perfect match for your jig head system.
Yeah, that's the reason why we make it, because there's many jig heads that you can put on your soft lure, but the problem is that you always have to cut it correctly, otherwise The water pressure will be goes on, and the swimming action will be not exactly as it should be. So with this, you be sure to have the perfect match with your jig, and also you can choose jig to fish deeper or non-weighted to fish in shallow water. So it make it very versatile. So
And Tanguay, how many sizes and how many colors?
actually, it's just only prototype. No, it will be finished in few weeks. But we have only two sizes. We started working on two sizes. One is a 6-inch or 15 millimeters, and the other one is 8-inch, which is 200 millimeters. So it's much more bigger, but as it's also very soft, when a fish just open the mouth, normally the lure is fold like this and goes even in small fish.
And I'm presuming this larger size, this is going to be deadly for northern pike and some of the larger predators.
But for sure it will be. But now, as it seems to be successful lure, we plan to make it bigger. We have to.
Even bigger still for the future, is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Excellent. Now, color-wise, how many colors?
For the moment, we not have already finished all our color selection because we're still working on it. But we will probably make something like 6 color to start, and then we will check which one will be the best. But the color will not be standard color. No, we will use production with the color will be injected and also painted. So the result is very realistic. So it will add more realism in all this lure. So it can be very, very effective. Enough to seduce fish also.
Yes. Now here's the big question for our blog viewers. Right now, they can't get these in Canada. I know you're working, hopefully, on distribution in the United States and Canada. But for the folks viewing in and reading the blog, where can they go online to order these? I know it's a prototype still coming, but where will they be able to find it?
Actually, we're not on US market and Canadian market, but if you go on web, we have plenty of shop here in France that doing good online work. So there's some shop like pêcheur.com or this kind of shop that you can find. I think that if you go on Google and you're looking for L16 conil from Sakura brand, I'm sure you will be happy and you will find it easily. But we hope to make it in Canada, of course.
Yes. Well, there you have it, folks. L16 cone eel. You Google that on the internet. Find a source in France. You fish these this year, both on a jig head or wacky rig it, wacky jig fish it, Texas rig it. Going to be the dynamite lure for smallmouth bass, largemouth bass, walleyes, northerns, even probably muskies in the larger size. One of the first times ever we've got one of these true smelt replica baits made for the Canadian market. You give it a try this year, I think you're going to be really impressed with this lure, the cone eel L16. Thanks ever so much, Tanguay.